picking up on Long Live the Pumpkin Queen, chapter 15. I do hope you're enjoying the narration so far. Please let me know what you think in the comments down below. And let's begin. Let me out, I yell, my soft fists banging against the wood door, helpless, useless. Please, I shriek, but there are no footsteps down the hall, no raising voices coming to save me. The house feels empty, gone silent as a tomb, quiet as a cellar. I rush to the window and yank open the curtains wider. At first, everything looks as it did moments ago, but then I see them, my parents, have left the house. My father's hands on the small of my mother's back. My father's hand on the small of my mother's back? And they walk down the front steps and out into the streets, their robes clenched tight around them to keep out the chill, and in the dim twilight I noticed several other residents leaving their houses, as well as gathering with my parents in the street. Humbled at first, speaking low before nodding together, and in some arrangement. All at once I realized what was happening. I knew where they were going. I slap my palm against the window and shout through the glass, but they don't turn around. They can't hear me. They're too far away, already moving up the street into a faint, watery twilight towards the gate at the far end of town. I drop my head, knowing, and the knowing is a sharp stab of betrayal straight into the center of my already broken heart. They're going to the grove of trees. They're going to destroy the doorway. They lied when they said they'd wait. And you bought that. Okay, whatever. Keep your thoughts in your head where they belong. Dr. Finkelstein used to tell me he wanted a daughter who kept quiet, who did what she was told, silent and obedient. But I had never been those things, and I refuse to be that now. I run back to the door, yanking on the knob, hoping to budge it free, but it doesn't give even an inch. Trapped, trapped, trapped. My mind repeats, the walls shrinking in around me. My parents have locked me in my childhood bedroom, just like Dr. Finkelstein used to do. And now they're going to destroy the tree. My only way back home to Jack and Zero and everyone I know. They knew I'd try to stop them, so they tricked me. They did, or they lied. I press my ear to the door, listening. Maybe Edwin, the butler, is still in the house. I pound against the sturdy wood door, calling out to him, but he doesn't come. Even if he can hear me, he's probably been instructed not to let me out. I hurry back to the window and try to slide it up in the frame, but it's stuck, rusted into place after many years spent closed. All the years I was away, when no one lived in this room, never letting the quiet evening air. Tears broke over my eyelids, dampening my cotton cheeks and clouding my vision. A deep, churning fear swelling in my gut, leaves twisting around together like they're caught in a windstorm. I have to find a way out of here. I have to. Oh, I have to find a way out of here. I press my forehead to the glass, the panic like a fist in my throat. But through the blur of tears, I see the outline of someone approaching the front of the house. The boy, the one who brought me the note when I was slumped outside the library. The boy who led me here to the governor's house. I slammed my palm against the window, yelling through the glass to get his attention, but but he's already letting himself through the front door. I run back to the bedroom door and shout against the wood. I beat my cotton fist so hard my stitches start to tear. Help, I yell. Let me out. I think I can just make out the tread of soft slippers on the wood floor. And then, seconds later, I hear a small voice. Hello? The boy is standing on the other side of the door. Please, I said, please unlock the door. My face is pressed flat to the wood, intently listening, when suddenly it swings open and I tumble into the hallway. How did you know I was stuck in there? How did you get stuck in there? The boy asked, words slurred against the gap in his teeth. Hair must moose misused mused like he just woke from a nap. They locked me in, I say, the breath heavy in my chest, glaring back at the open bedroom doorway. The boy's eyebrows screwed together like he doesn't understand what I mean, and straightens himself up and steps back into the bedroom, relieving the book I found under the bed and tucked it under his arm. Why are you here? I asked the boy, stepping back into the hallway and striding towards the front door. He pulls on his bottom lip as he quick quick quickness quickling his step to keep up with my pace. I run errands for the governor, and I came to tell them that the poets are asking for more candles in the library, and he scraps a hand along his neck. There's a rumor going around that you're their daughter, the one who vanished all those moons ago. His eyes find mine. Is it true? I exhale through the notion. Oh, I exhale through my nostrils. Oh, God, I can't read. Clenching at the back of my jaw. Yes, I tell him, as we reach the front entry. But I'm not staying. The boy follows me out through the front door, and a listless evening breeze coils around me, the air quiet and calm. Why not? He asks, still standing in the doorway. Because I am the queen of Halloween Town, I answer, glancing back at him as I descended the stone steps onto the street, and I'm going back home. I sprint through the town all the way to the gated wall, past the tall field of lavender, into the lulling, soft, shadowy woods. Wait, I shout before I even reach the grove of 7 trees, hoping it's not too late, hoping they will hear my frantic pleads echoing through the woods. My lungs are gushing with air, eyes flashing through the darkness until at last I can just make out the silhouette of several people gathered inside the grove, some holding candles illuminating the dim forest, while others are wielding axes, swinging them wide before driving the blades against the hard wood with a loud crack that echoes through the far-reaching forest. The sound is like a knife in my ears. The leaves in my chest rattle with each exhale as I climb the hill towards the grove. The lost needles in my stomach jab and poke. Please, 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 my head screams. By a half second later, I hear a loud crash, the sound of a tree hitting the ground and splitting apart. The vibrations shake the path near me. No, 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 no. Please stop, I yell. Please. I sprint up the last rise, reaching the edge of the grove, and at last I see full width of trees in the trembling candlelight. I'm too late. Minutes too late. Moments too late. A whole lifetime too late. The tree is gone. Gone. Every tree has been severed at its base, chopped clean through, and now all seven lie on their sides, toppled over like soldiers stained on the battlefield. No, I run to the tree with the golden pumpkin carved into the bark and drop to my knees, clawing at the door, heaving it open. But when I peer inside, I find only an empty darkness and ordinary, hollowed out tree, pale, soft wood, and a small beetle scuttering away from the candlelight. Is that supposed to be Oogie? Or just a random beagle? Beagle. Random beetle. No, therefore, that will take me. No threshold that will take me back to Jack. No doorway, no passage to another realm. It's gone. A hand touches my shoulder, but I jerk away from it. Mother is standing over me. You said you'd wait. I snarl up at her through the knotted pain in my chest. My father steps forward, his seamed mouth turned down at the corners. We're sorry, Sally, we had to do it. No, I reply. I want to push myself up, but my legs feel too weak. All the strength I felt when I fled my room was now gone. You could have waited. You could have told me the truth. Instead, you locked me in my room. My mother exhales, tugging on the sleeve of her robe, mouth sunk flat. We didn't want you to leave us again, she admits, eyes trembling like she might cry, like she too might collapse beside me. We couldn't bear it if you decided to go back. My eyes flash at her. So you destroyed the tree, my only way back home, trapping me here. Each word feels like a cracked glass shattering open, snapping each thread one by one, without letting me decide for myself. The seams tighten across my mother's forehead, and I can see the panic in her eyes, the fear of losing me again. It was wrong of us, she said, so softly, the words nearly drowned in her throat. But we had to make sure the Sandman couldn't come back. We couldn't waste any more time. I pushed myself up from the fallen tree, skin trembling, every part of me feeling cut through. They lied to me, hurt me, took me away, took away everything I had, I have lost Jack for good, and I want to scream, the hurt bulging behind my eyes. I want to tell them that I hate them, that I'll never forgive them, but all the fury sits planted at the back of my teeth, aching, a vile, wretched feeling. Instead, I hold out the book for Mother to see. I found a way to stop the Sandman, I said, bluntly, coldly, rooted in my eyes. My father squints over my mother's shoulder, while the others in the group raise their candles towards the book. Curious. How? Father asks. Stitched eyebrows pull together. When I found Jack and the others asleep, I tried to make a potion to wake them up. My voice is so thin it feels like paper, but it didn't work. I stare at the faces of my parents, wanting them to see the anger in my eyes, to know what they've done. Oh God, that sucked. But I made the wrong potion for the wrong purpose. I swallow, waiting for some hint of recognition in their eyes, but their features remained slack, emotionless. What purpose? Mother asked. My eyes slid to the book in my hands, The Basics of Slumber, Dreamtown edition, where flipping through the pages I realized I had been thinking about the Sandman all wrong. I had tried to make a potion to awaken each of the Sandman. I had tried to make a potion to awaken those the Sandman put to sleep, but I needed to think about it like a rag doll, one who was born and raised in Dreamtown, one who would have spent her nights in the library studying and fundamentals of sleep, a girl who would have read this book over and over until she knew it by heart. I didn't need a potion to wake everyone up, I say, breathing, glancing at the fallen trees. I needed a potion to put the Sandman to sleep. There is a long silent pause, wind shushing through the trees, candles throwing light across the ground until finally my father speaks. But Dreamtown sand doesn't work on the Sandman. We can't put him to sleep. I shake my head. It wouldn't use dream sand. My voice is still deep cutting because I know it's too late now. I would have made it using herbs that I grew in Halloween Town. They're stronger than anything you have here, more toxic. They can raise the dead and put them to sleep too. But how do you know? But how would you know how to make such a thing? My father asked. I lift my eyes to him. I've made many dangerous sleeping potions before, but I don't tell him about the noxious soup I used to make Dr. Finkelstein. All the mornings I would slip poison into his frog breath tea, knocking him unconscious long enough that I could escape the lab and go search for Jack. The hurt expands inside me like rotten flesh, and uh, and I'd do anything to go back there now to see Jack again. My mother takes the book from me and runs her palms across the cover. You think you can put the Sandman to sleep? She raises an eyebrow. I don't know if putting the Sandman to sleep will wake the others. I don't know if it will break the deep slumber he has cast on them, but at least it would stop him. I have to try. But my father interjects before I could say any of this. The trees are destroyed. There's no way for her to go back to her world, even if she wanted to. My mother ignores him, keeping her eyes on me. Sally, if you could reach your town, do you think you'd be able to stop the Sandman? I swallow and push my shoulders back. I would try. My mother glances back at my father, some silent thing passing between them. The human word, my mother says, at least. You can reach Halloween Town by going through the human world. Oh, the human world. You can reach it by going to the human world. My God, I can't read for crap. I feel a dark pupil narrow on her. The stirring in my stomach falls still. I've never been to the human world, the place Jack visits every autumn. On Halloween night, slipping through graveyards and cemeteries and mausoleums. It's how he moves back and forth between our realm and the mortal one. But I've never seen a cemetery in Dreamtown. Not even a single headstone. How do I get to the human world? I ask Mother, lowering the book, meeting my gaze. We'll show you. The Lullaby Library is quiet and after hours kind of silent. No one curled on the love seat writing riddles. Everyone gone home for the night to rest their eyes and minds. Yet we walk in silence down the center of the library, my mind still burning at the thought of what they did, destroying the grove, trying to trap me here for good. I feel as defection as Dr. Finkelstein, locking me in my room, making me a prisoner. You are a treacherous, willful girl, he would say, but is is it willful to want freedom, to choose your own way, to risk everything to save the ones you love? My parents lead me up a set of metal spiral stairs, and at the second floor we climb up another spiral stairway, then another, until we approach. We're perched on the third floor, the highest part of the library. We move along the walkway beside tall, endless stacks of books, but the titles are unreadable in the dim light. Only a few candles still burning on the shelves to light our way. Finally, at the back of the library, we come to a door made of dark cherry wood with an ardent spiral of nighttime stars. etched into the front and darkened as if the wood had been burnt by fire. This is our way to the human world, Mother whispers, speaking softly. Even through there is no one, even though there is no one else inside the library. But if you leave, she adds, we will stay. She swallows a heavy darkness in her eyes, then picks at the thread on her wrists. We have to make sure the Sandman doesn't return. We have to destroy this doorway too. Close off any chance of him getting back in. I breathe, and the library seems to expand, walls stretching outward, while my thoughts close in around me. But if you destroy this door, you'll be closed off from everything, I say. Your dream sand, your lullabies. You won't be able to help anyone fall asleep anymore. We don't have a choice, my father says repeatedly. His words from the grove, repeating the words from his grove. I draw in a deep, unsteady breath, and in their eyes I can see how desperately they don't want me to leave. How they'd do almost anything to keep me here, to make me stay, even lie, but I can't stay. I'll sacrifice everything, even this town that was once my home, if it means I might be able to save Jack, see him again, feel his hands against my linen skin. I'd like to introduce you to a man called Griffin from Berserk there, Sally. Sacrificing everything is not always a good thing. I am returning to my world, knowing I likely never see my parents again. Tears form in my father's eyes, his mouth trembling. I know Dreamtown might be where I belong, I say, wanting my parents to understand why I have to see this through. Why there's no turning back now. But it will never feel like home without Jack. I have to try to save him, all of them. Even though they have lied to me, hurt me, my heart still feels like it's breaking all over again. I don't want to leave my parents behind, not knowing that they've finally found them, that I finally found them. He would do the same for me, I say, my voice cracking on the words, mouth trembling. My mother tugs me into her arms, wet tears and fabric skin made of the same linen and thread. A patchwork pattern that makes us the same, and I let myself cry. For so long we've never known what happened to you, she whispers against my cheek. We worried every day, but finding you now, I realize you are braver than I ever imagined you might be. Imagined you might be. Her words erupting into sobs. Then she takes a ragged breath. I don't want to lose you again, but I know you need to fight to save the ones you love, and there's nothing more worthy than that. Thank you, Mother, I say, the words out loud for the first time. Tears shed down my face in rivers now. My father folds his arms around us both, and I feel a flicker of doubt. Small, impressionable, whatever. but there's just the same stabbing at me. Am I wrong to leave? I have finally found my family, and now I'm leaving them to go back to a place I might not be able to save if I can't make a potion strong enough to put the Sandman to sleep. If I can't stop him, if I can't wake up the others, then what? I'll be trapped in Halloween Town all alone, with no way to return to Dreamtown, where it's safe. I will spend the rest of my life hiding from the Sandman. Yeah, but you've already established that he can't really affect you. But this brief thumbnail-sized thought is quickly replaced by a larger one, the one that overtakes all others. I was born in Dreamtown, but I'm also the Pumpkin Queen. I will fight for Jack. I will fight to set things right. I pull myself away from my parents' arms, then step forth and open the wooden doorway. A strange coldness hisses, wrapping itself around me. The inner darkness and shadows, no light at all. When you step through, my mother instructs me from behind, you'll be taken to the library in the human world. Which library? Whichever one you want, my father says behind me. Think of a town or place as you step over the threshold, and the doorway will open up into the library there. My head pounds as the names of towns, cities, locations in the human world skip through my mind. All the places Jack has described visiting on Halloween night. But how will I choose just one? I'll have to find a cemetery, I tell them. That's how I'll get back to Halloween Town. Try to think of a small town, then Mother offers, so you won't have to search far. I nod and take a breath, looking back at my parents, both still crying, arms folded around one another. I found them, but now I'm leaving them behind, and I'll never see them again after this moment. This last goodbye. The burden of what I'm about to do feels almost unbearable, but I hold up the door and suck in a breath. I smile at my parents one last time, wanting to say something one last time, but I can't find the right words, good enough words. My head and heart are treacherous mess, both wanting different things, but collaborating inside me and making it possible to speak. So I don't. I love them somehow. These two are these two people who I've just met, fabric scraps and long red hair. We are the same, but I have to let them go. I peer into the darkness of the doorway, knowing that once I pass through to the other side, my parents will destroy the door, breaking it apart, maybe even burn it until there's only ashes, until there's no magic left inside. I close my eyes, count to 3, then step through the doorway. And that is the end of chapter 15. I'm sorry, that wasn't exactly my best go.